The original Planet of the Apes follows a team of 4 astronauts that are on a mission to find a habitable planet around the star Betelgeuse. And now Betelgeuse is of course in the constellation of Orion. And if ever there was a chance for intelligent life, it would be near Betelgeuse.
Beetlejuice in the house. This is your brains on drugs.
What the hell was that? Jerry, what happened to the Beetlejuice clip with Michael Keaton? Well, I typed in Beetlejuice, that's the only thing I could find. There is a Beetlejuice 2 coming out. Are you mean to tell me that you typed Beetlejuice into a search engine and the very first thing it brought up was Beetlejuice from Howard Stern? What's a search engine? What? What do you mean, what is a search engine? Like Google? I don't know. I had to search quick. My Nana got me an AOL disk for 1,500 hours, and I'm down to my last 45 minutes. How'd you even get that to work? AOL's not even a thing anymore. All right, well, I just had like a fun little Beetlejuice bit planned, for the movie coming out, and then we can't do things like that here. And the crew has been traveling near the speed of light for 6 months, but because of the nosebleed-inducing concept of time dilation, in the 6 months that they've been traveling, 700 years have passed on Earth. Because reasons. The concept is maddening because, yes, I believe you, okay? I don't get it, but I believe that it's true. I would never be able to explain it to someone else without convulsing and shitting my pants, but I am on board because I have no choice. I have no way to refute this with my feeble brain. Like when I watched Interstellar and they found that one planet, and them spending an hour on that planet means like 8 years will have passed on Earth, and it's all because of gravity. Again, I believe you, but I swear, if you all are with me, I'm gonna be so mad. The leader of the expedition is Taylor, played by the legendary Charlton Heston. And it should be noted that this is the second Charlton Heston movie I've done on this channel, and I still haven't done a single Nick Cage movie. Blasphemy, I know. I mean, hell, this is the second Roddy McDowell movie I've done. And trust me, I hate it as much as you do, but I just don't know if I can give Nick Cage movies the proper treatment they deserve. I mean, the man is a god, and how does one comment on a god? The rest of the crew is already in hypersleep, and Commander Taylor is finishing setting up the ship's computer to take on the rest of the way. And I love sci-fi movies in the 70s because no matter how technical they get about space travel, they're still like, oh yeah, we'll smoke on a spaceship. It's fine. Yep, just put that lit cigar in your pocket and go to sleep in an oxygen-rich tube. It's fine. But I will say that it was surprisingly progressive of them to envision a female astronaut. Good for them. And action! Something goes wrong and the spaceship crash lands on a strange and most likely very distant planet, and according to the ship's computer, almost 2,000 years have passed back on Earth. That's 2,000 years on Earth, not here on this planet. Time moves normally on this planet. This is the planet of the apes. This is a completely different planet from Earth. And the men are okay, but the female astronaut, Stewart, just a withered husk. I mean, they'll still have sex with her, but it won't be pleasant. The ship begins to sink and they have to escape, and unfortunately they spent all their space budget on cigarillos, and they couldn't spring for a bigger life raft. Also, this raft is completely cramped now, but remember, it was supposed to hold 4 people. It's almost like NASA just expected the lady to not make it. Sexist much? Taylor, Landon, and Dodge then make their way to land and begin running tests to study this new strange planet that is a considerable distance from Earth. And action! They travel across the desert when they find a lake, and they strip naked and go swimming.
Look at this!
What are we looking at? The size of Dodge's dinker? Because it's nothing compared to mine. Mine's dirty because it drags on the ground. Look, I have to bend down to pick it up. Charlton, the script says you're supposed to be reacting to a footprint. Oh no. It leaves an impression bigger than a foot, I can guarantee you that. They then stumble upon a race of aliens that are surprisingly similar to humans, and then everyone's attacked by horse-riding apes. And now this movie is a classic, and it introduced some pretty big ideas for the 60s, and it will always be regarded as one of the greatest movies of all time. But then it also has scenes that show Charlton Heston almost running into the camera. And Charlton Heston almost running into the camera while also looking directly at the camera. I mean, this isn't some fourth wall breaking social commentary like he's looking at us. This is just one of the greatest actors in the world that seemed to not know that they had a camera set up where they did. Dodge gets killed in the attack, and Landon and Taylor get captured, and Taylor gets shot in the neck and loses the ability to speak. And that is definitely near the top of the biggest problems that occur when a bullet passes through your neck.
Which one was wearing the strange clothes?
This one.
His name is Beefy Boy. It was written in his underwear. Taylor is being tested by Dr. Zira and her fiancé, Dr. Cornelius, who are impressed with his abilities because Taylor appears to understand what they're saying and seems to be trying to communicate with them. Taylor obviously can't speak because of his neck wound.
I mean, does my scar look like a dog's vagina? You know, maybe.
And they are visited by Dr. Zayas, who's played by the Raiders owner Mark Davis. And Zayas is the Ape Minister of Science and Chief Defender of the Faith, and he makes sure that they advance ape scientific knowledge while staying true to the religious texts. And let me check with all of recorded history, and yep, science and religion have always gone hand in hand with zero issues. And Dr. Zayas hates humans and sees them as inferior, disease-infested creatures. And now, I know this is just to show the contempt that Zayas has for humans, but in regards to Taylor, he is probably rife with numerous STDs. And Zira then gives Taylor a present, which is a human woman that Taylor names Nova.
Do you have any ointment?
I'll see.
Let me check it back. I may have an unguent. Ooh, or possibly a balm. Dr. Zira, I found a salve. Will that work? Okay, I looked everywhere. All I could find was a rock. Taylor manages to escape, and a chase ensues. Okay, now Charlton, we need you to go around the camera. Oh, God. Can we squeegee this camera again? Charlton rubbed his gooch on it. Ha ha! That's right. And I'll do it again. But do you know what's even more horrifying? Is I've done that to all your lunch pails. Ew. They catch Taylor in a net and he delivers his iconic line.
Damn it! Tape it up! Tape it up! If I know it's over, I can hold him up for 30 seconds. God damn it, I said tape it up!
Oof, he must have dislocated his shoulder. As punishment for trying to escape, they separate Taylor and Nova, and Taylor begins talking about their mission.
Did I tell you about Stuart? The most precious cargo we brought along. She was to be the new Eve, with our hot and eager help, of course.
It sounds like Stewart was spared a hellish existence by dying in that tube. Like NASA's grand plan was to populate this new planet with just 4 people.
Probably just as well she didn't make it this far.
Yes it is. Taylor is brought before the council to stand trial, and he tries to tell them that he crash landed with 2 others, and that Landon will be able to back up his claims.
Do not turn this hearing into a farce.
Yes, it must be handled with all the grace and dignity of a monkey tribunal. But unfortunately, Landon has been lobotomized, so Taylor can't prove that he can talk, and Cornelius and Zira are then charged with heresy for going against the teachings in the sacred scrolls.
Where is your tribe? That mythical community you're supposed to come from, Fort Wayne.
What about it?
A fort?
And a fort named after an ape named Wayne? We've never had an ape named Wayne. That name is forbidden. We do have several Dwaynes, though, which is a bit odd. And Zira, with the help of Cornelius and her nephew Lucius, help Taylor escape, and they make their way to the Forbidden Zone.
I told you not to bring the other one. He wouldn't leave her.
Yes, I've got a yearning to do some churning, if you know what I mean. Cut! Come on, Charlton, please stop ad-libbing.
What's she pointing at?
This must be close to home for her. She knows it.
I don't want to meet your parents. You're not that kind of gal. Oh, we'll call you whenever we want to get our rocks off, but you're not marriage material. You're more of the hit it and quit it variety. You're what's known back on Earth as a dumpster. Cut! And they're pursued by the apes to the ocean, where there's an archaeological site, and Taylor makes a deal with Zayas that if they can prove that the sacred texts aren't telling the whole story, then Cornelius and Zira won't be prosecuted for heresy.
Of course.
Yes, because if there is one thing a religious fanatic loves more, it's a contradiction to everything they believe in. And Cornelius shows Zayas the skeletal remains of primitive apes, and weapons and artifacts that show a more advanced civilization lived 2,000 years prior.
Dr. Zayas, would an ape make a human doll that talks?
And outside, the apes attack, and Taylor takes Zayas hostage. Taylor tells Zayas that the apes owe their knowledge and technology to a race of humans who lived before. Humans that spoke English, and look exactly like modern Earth humans, and had dolls that say, Mama. What an odd planet of apes that is far from Earth. They allow Taylor and Nova to leave, and Taylor says his goodbyes, and he introduces just a little bit of Earth culture, such as the handshake, the drawn-out Midwestern goodbye, and the truly American tradition of watching another man making out with your wife. Would you believe this isn't the first time I've gotten with an ape? I remember one time I got drunk and passed out at the zoo. I awoke to find myself in the ape enclosure. Well, there were several female apes, and they were presenting, and I was fed up with the human race, so I figured they could be the new Eve in an evolutionary leap, with my hot and eager help, of course. Luckily, when I sobered up, I realized men and apes can't breed with one another. Oh my, can you imagine if we could? The results would be catastrophic.
Lieutenant, fetch your explosives. We're going to seal up the cave.
Yes, sir. Seal the cave.
That is correct, and you will both stand trial for heresy.
What a dick. And we then get to the amazing twist that would have been fun to have ever experienced, but I, like many other people, had the ending of this movie spoiled before we were even old enough to watch it. And I love how insane everyone is about movie spoilers today, like even for old movies, but my copy of Planet of the Apes just straight up has the Statue of Liberty on the cover. Like we never even had a chance to be amazed by this twist. Although, I do have to wonder if it would have been very easy to figure out the entire time. Now, we put up a lot of villains on this show that don't stay true to their gimmick, but the Minstrel is probably the worst. He is a full medieval minstrel that is also an electronics genius and manipulates the stock market and then tries to cook his enemies alive.
Batman and Robin rotate and revolve. As the heat mounts, you'll lose all resolve.
And 90% of his songs are to the tune of Rockabye Baby. It's no wonder your kind were banned from entertaining lords, kings, and viscounts. Go peddle your chanson de geste to the peasants, serfs, and farmers, you insipid, intransient saddle goose.
Haven't you programmed the repair module yet?
Please don't rush us. Alright, you all set, Kenneth? Just one more second, Gregory. I can't seem to find the on button. Oh, it was right here the whole time. Oh my gosh. Major Blood, aren't Kenneth and I just a couple of goofs? Why are you two so weird?
Can you feel pain?
That too.
Why didn't they build you to look like a machine? It's a lie.
You hurt me, Corey.
There aren't any nerves under there. There aren't any muscles or tendons.
You know, I don't know that I would want a robot that can cry and make claims that I hurt them. That's not a good look when the next supply ship shows up.